So the question I get asked all the time, Ashes, how do I go pro in Gears? Ashes, how do I become a pro player? Ashes, how do I become a pro coach? Ashes, how do I just go pro in esports? So today, I'm going to tell you my top 5 tips to help you go pro in esports. So first off, I want to make a few things clear. I'm going to be talking a lot about Gears of War because obviously that's going to be the game I am the most familiar with. And second, this is not a guarantee. Following these is just going to help you along that path, but there's also a lot of luck and a lot of hard work involved. And the third thing, this is not the end-all be-all list. This is just, in my opinion, the top 5 tips that I can give somebody to help them achieve pro status in their respective esport. Tip number 1 is going to be team with your friends. Now, there's a lot of ways that you can get involved in the esports competitive scene of whatever game you're playing. So for Gears of War, you have the professional esports Gears Discord server that you can join. It has recruitment sections, it has scrim sections, all of that fun stuff. You have game battles, which is basically online MLG that you can play in, singles ladders, 2v2 ladders, team ladders, all kinds of things that you can compete in. And there's a lot of ways that you can find teams with people either through pub matches or through ranked matches or just getting to know people, kind of that word of mouth thing, building a name for yourself. All of that's important. But what I recommend most to people is start off by teaming with your friends. Even if you're the best person in your friend group, but you all kind of have that similar mindset that you want to compete, you're better off learning and growing both individually and as a teammate with a group of friends, with people that you can trust, that you can talk to, that you can get along with through those hard losses and those exciting wins. That's going to be your best success in terms of learning how to grow as a teammate. And if you're lucky, like we are over here in OpTic Gears, you can actually team with your friends and get up to that top level if your friends are also striving to be as good or better than everyone else. Tip number 2 would be to study the top teams. This one should come as no surprise to people, but for some reason a lot of people fail to do it. Take a look at what the top teams in your respective game are doing. If you're in Gears of War and you're trying to go pro, look at what OpTic Gaming is doing. Look at what Rise is doing. Look at what the other top teams in your esport are doing, how they run their strategies, how they position, how they work the map, whatever it may be. Look at what they do and analyze it. Don't just watch it for entertainment value. Actually break down what they're doing and see how you can apply that to your team and your team's play style. Obviously, mimicking is one way to kind of get your foot in the door in terms of understanding that strategy. You know, you start trying to execute it the same way they did. Maybe it doesn't work. Maybe you learn from that. But the biggest thing is if you study those top teams, you'll see what the most successful people in your esport are doing, and you'll learn how to apply that to your own gameplay. Tip number 3, play in anything and everything that you possibly can. Now again, this might seem a little bit self-explanatory, but a lot of people struggle to do this. There are a lot of avenues for you to compete in almost every single esport that I'm familiar with, including some of the smaller ones. So make sure you're taking any opportunity you can to get any kind of experience, whether it be online tournaments or going to a local event or going to a major LAN event, even if you're just going to meet people or you're going with a pickup team. Just do anything you can to get that experience under your belt, because that experience is going to help you grow as a player and as a teammate and make you more valuable either to your next team or just help you improve that much more. All of this is important along the road to being a professional. Tip number 4, and this is going to be more about individual branding, but stream or create content and understand how to have a social media presence. I can't stress enough the importance of how your social footprint will affect your value as a professional player in whatever esport you're in. So putting yourself out there and your personality out there by streaming is a really great way to do this. It's really easy. You playing the game anyways, you're practicing the game on your own, you're practicing with your team. Hit that start streaming button and forget about it. It's an easy way to create content, get yourself out there, and then start working on interacting with the chat, learning how to talk while play, and just explain what you're doing. This is also going to help you reflect on your own gameplay in real time. If you're interacting with your chat while playing, you might not be able to play at your best level, but you'll be able to kind of critique yourself because you have a bunch of people watching you. This is important, and don't get discouraged if you don't have many viewers or you don't have people watching at the beginning. It's a slow process. Everyone starts at zero. It's about working your way up through consistency and through being there and being reliable. In terms of social media, make sure that you're behaving as a professional. If you're aspiring to be a professional, you don't want to be unprofessional on social media out there where everybody can see it, including potential future sponsors or employers or other people that might affect your career path in esports. So make sure your social media behavior reflects who you are as a person while also being professional. That doesn't mean you can't have fun or retweet the funny memes, but make sure that you're censoring yourself enough that you're not hurting any potential deals. A big thing in esports is you don't want to burn any bridges. Now, streaming can be considered creating content, but there's also the aspects like Instagram videos and stories, Twitter videos, YouTube videos. All of this is under that creating content umbrella, and it's super important. It's another way to put yourself out there and to help further the growth of your personal fan base and the fan base of your team. It's another way for you to help dedicate more time to whatever your respective game is and to build that audience that will then carry on with you through your career as a professional in esports. My last tip number 5, is having the right attitude. Make sure that your attitude is the attitude that you want to win. If you go into it with the mindset of you're complacent, you're satisfied, you'll be fine with a top 6 placing, a top 8 placing, with placing top 12, then you're not in it for the right reasons. If you're in it only for money or only for fame, then you're probably not in it for the right reasons. There's going to be a lot of time where you're making $0. In fact, you'll probably be operating at a negative. But that grind for what feels like nothing is what gets you that experience and what builds that mindset of I've worked for this, I've earned this when you finally reach your goals of being a pro. Now, one thing that a lot of people struggle with in esports is that mindset of it's not my fault. They do that whole blame game thing. They don't like to take a loss, and when they do, they find every excuse in the book why it's not their fault that they lost. And that's an attitude that you have to drop. A lot of people want to satisfy their internal ego, and they'll do anything they can to do that. But a true competitor, somebody who truly wants to win and has that attitude that winning means more than anything, knows that winning means more than satisfying that ego, which means they can drop that. They can push aside all of that crap that's going to stop them from improving and from increasing their level, and it's going to help them focus in on what they did wrong and what they can do better next time. And that's why you see continual growth in the top players. It's why you see people, a select group of people in every game, rise to the top when there's so many people who are at an equal skill level to them at one point in time. That's why you see people who are levels above everybody else in different games. And you have to make sure that if you truly want to be a professional in esports, if you truly want to compete, you need that attitude to win over everything. So again, this is not a step-by-step guide to becoming pro. This is just my top 5 tips to help you potentially become pro in your favorite esport, whatever esport you're competing in. Just make sure it's something that you enjoy, follow these tips, and I promise you, you will find more success than you're probably finding now. But it's a long process, and like I said before at the beginning of the video, it does require a little bit of luck. So good luck to all of you out there who are aspiring pros. I look forward to seeing you compete, and until next time, make sure you like this video. Let me know in the comments down below if you follow any of these steps already. If you have any steps for other people, maybe you're a pro watching this video and you have a tip that you want to give out, feel free to do that in the comments down below. Subscribe to the video or the channel. Yeah, subscribe to the channel instead, and I will see you all in the next video.